I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. It means the world to me. I've been meaning to sit down and film this video for a while. Periodically, I'll do these little life updates where I will open up about some things that have been going on in my life, good, bad, ugly. We talk about everything, really. And I haven't filmed one in a while. With this one in particular, I just needed to be able to process my emotions a little bit more before talking to you guys about everything, because if I didn't take the time to do that, nothing that would have come out of my mouth would have made any sense. So for both of our sakes, I decided to wait. But it's been an interesting few months in my life. It really has. And it doesn't feel right to not share everything with you guys, because I mean, part of these videos definitely feels a bit like therapy. It allows me to just talk out everything that's in my head. And also, there's nothing I love more than the feedback I get on these videos, because you guys will tell me things about your life. You guys will be able to relate and give me advice. And for all of that, I'm just so grateful. So let's just get into it, because we have lots to cover. I think the best way to describe how I've been feeling recently is just the general feeling of unfulfillment. And honestly, this isn't even a recent thing. This is something that I've kind of struggled with here and there over the past almost 2 years. Just the feeling of knowing that I'm capable of so much more than I'm currently doing, but not knowing how to get to the place where I want to be. And trust me, I know that this is not a unique feeling. I think this is really common, especially with people who are in their early 20s, recently graduated college, and have decided to take their life into one specific direction. It can feel really limiting if you have suddenly decided that you want to take your life into a different direction. You almost feel like you're stuck because you're in too deep, which is so not the case because we're so young, but that's kind of the thoughts that start to creep in. So that's kind of how I started to feel, and that mindset can really quickly creep into different aspects of your life, where all of a sudden I was like, I love to travel and I haven't traveled in so long. Why am I not prioritizing that? And I love social media and I love my platforms, but I'm not growing. Why am I not growing? All of a sudden it just becomes this encompassing feeling of self-doubt and feeling stuck, and it can be really frustrating. So these feelings have been building for a while, right? But in August, it felt like everything was kind of just blowing up in my face all at once. And I decided right there and then that I need change, and I need it right now. So instead of just flipping my entire life on its head, I decided to tackle the things that were most tangible. So the first of which was booking a trip with my best friend Amanda. That needed to happen because I have had such an intense travel bug ever since getting back from Costa Rica in January, and the fact that I hadn't been traveling made me feel stuck and made me feel really unfulfilled, especially because some of my favorite online content comes from my travels. So we booked a 10-day trip and it was absolutely incredible. Like, everything I wanted to get out of that trip, I got out of it and then some. But that wasn't the only thing that needed to change, and over the past few months I have definitely been making other changes in my life that I think are just the best for me mentally and physically, and I'm incredibly proud of myself, honestly. So these are all things that I'll be able to talk to you guys about in coming months or weeks or whatever the timeline's gonna be. But regardless, the thing that I want you guys to take from this whole anecdote is that you should not be afraid to make selfish changes for yourself. We have one life, and I would hate for any of you guys watching this to spend your 20s doing things that do not help you feel fulfilled, and then when you get to your 30s and your 40s, look back with so many regrets. I don't want that for any of you, and I don't want that for myself. So if you take anything from this video, I hope you take that. I think it's really easy for people who are feeling stuck to immediately jump to, oh, I'm gonna move to a different country, or I'm gonna move to a different state. And listen, for some people, I'm sure that works and it just does the trick, but that's not necessarily something I think I need to do as a permanent thing. I think that there are other tangible things that I can take care of in my life to help alleviate some of those feelings. But what I will say is, as I was kind of evaluating some of the things that I want to make sure that I accomplish in my 20s, one of the things that I kept on coming back to was the fact that ever since I was like 12 years old, I've said that I want to live in California. I have family out there, I've spent a lot of time out there, and I just love areas like Santa Monica and San Diego so much. And I would be so disappointed if I looked back on my life and my 20s and I didn't at least try. So that's definitely been on my radar. For what period of time, I have no idea, but I promise if I decide to make that jump, you guys will be the first ones to know. But I wanted to say that here because it's an exciting thing for me to think about. So I hope it happens sooner rather than later. If you guys have been watching my videos over the past few months, and especially if you've been following me on Instagram as of recently, it's clear that I've had a lot better luck in the brand deal department. For context, I've been online since 2013, and ever since the beginning, I've never really had the best luck working with larger brands. Even when my audience was the same size as other creators that were working with big brands, I just never really was getting those opportunities. And I wasn't getting those opportunities even though I was with a really large management company. I was signed with a management company for almost 5 years. And this was a legitimate one. Like, it was home of a lot of very big name creators that you guys would absolutely recognize and probably still watch. And I just wasn't getting handed any opportunities regardless of working with this management, which was obviously really frustrating. And I just chalked it up to the fact that my content wasn't good enough, my audience wasn't big enough or engaged enough, which I know isn't true, but that really was the only way I was able to rationalize what was happening, or rather what wasn't happening. But as of May of this year, my management company dissolved. It no longer exists. You cannot find it. And at first, when I heard that news, I was devastated because I was like, I'm barely getting any brand deals as is. The only reason I'm getting them is because of this management. What am I gonna do? And then once it hit June and I switched over all of my emails, all of the brand deals and all of the event invitations started flooding in. And I slowly but surely realized that the reason I haven't been able to work with brands up until this point was because my management was keeping those opportunities from me. So realizing that I missed out on probably a lot of brand deals and events over the past few years was definitely frustrating, but this company dissolving was easily the best thing to happen to me because over the past few months, I have been handed so many opportunities. As of recently, I worked with Jose Cuervo, and I just never would have thought that I'd be able to work with such like national brands like that. But here I am managing myself at this point and doing so and having the best time doing it. Every video like this, I always get all of the same questions, and it's just asking for a dating update. Especially this summer, a lot of you seem to think that I had a boyfriend, and I figure it's time for me to just clear the air and say that I do not. Believe me, when I do have a boyfriend, you guys will know. I can't promise that you'll know what he looks like because I do think that I'm gonna try and keep that to myself for a little bit, but I am very far from a secretive person. I'm an open book if you ask the right questions, and you guys always do. So believe me, you'll know when that happens. But as a dating update, I took a little bit of a hiatus of like properly dating over the summer because it's damn near impossible to schedule with anybody during the summer because everyone's all over the place. But the fall is really where I thrive. So I've been having fun, just doing my thing and meeting new people. And yeah, I don't know, things have been good. I can't complain. I keep on mentioning the month of August because August definitely put me through the ringer a little bit, and there were a few recurring themes throughout that month, one of which was the theme of loss and grief. So again, if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you know that I had a family dog named Demi. She was a Springer Spaniel, absolutely gorgeous and just the sweetest little girl, and we've had her for 14 years. I got her when I was in 5th grade, and unfortunately at the end of August she did pass away. It was very, very sudden, and unfortunately I wasn't home when it was happening. I was here at my apartment, and it was something that my parents had to take care of, and I just had to sit and watch over FaceTime. And it was definitely really, really hard. So that happened at the end of August, which kind of just felt like a bow on a really poorly wrapped package that was the month of August. It was just really, really tough. So that was something, and is something, that I continue to kind of process. Damn it. And I've also had to deal with loss that wasn't necessarily tied to grief and death, but more so the loss of friendships and the loss of positive perceptions that I had of people that I held to a certain standard, and all of that is really hard also. So August definitely felt like when it rains it pours moment. It definitely felt like it was pouring, but I'm happy to say that September and October have been on an upward trajectory for me. Absolutely. They've definitely come with their own set of struggles, but things have definitely gotten so much better. And I just genuinely believe that even when things become uncomfortable and a bit sad, everything is happening for a reason. So that's kind of where I stand right now. And I wanted to share all of this with you guys because obviously you guys are like my best friends, so I want to make sure that you feel like you're in the loop with my life, and also I know that you're gonna be able to resonate with at least one thing that I shared in this video, or at least I hope so. So if that is the case, please share it with me down below. You don't have to get super vulnerable if that's not your speed, but I would just love to hear from you and catch up on your life a little bit like you have just caught up on mine. So with that, I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you very, very soon in my next video. Bye!